guys? Welcome to the Brainy Buzz channel. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, also subscribe to my channel. Stock Market for Beginners, Trading and Investing 101. So make sure to watch the full video. Investing in stocks has become increasingly accessible, with beginners able to open an account with little money through a brokerage website or mobile app. Stock represents an ownership stake in a company as a common shareholder. Common stocks allow shareholders to vote on company issues, with most companies granting one vote per share. Some companies also offer stockholders dividend payouts, giving investors a stream of income on top of the market value of the stock. These payouts typically change based on the company's profitability. Stocks are considered a risk asset that can provide growth and income to an investment portfolio. This means it's an asset class that carries a high degree of price volatility. With stocks, beginner investors must consider the degree of risk that they can take. Typically, the more risk in an investment, the greater the potential reward. But investors need to be willing to take the risk of losing money in case high returns don't come. History shows that stocks have been a reliable asset class for strong annual average returns over time. In 2022, stocks have taken a dive as the highest inflation in 40 years drives steep interest rate increases and stokes fears of an economic downturn. The gloom has ensnared some of the market's biggest names, particularly tech stocks, which have been pummeled. Facebook parent Meta Platforms, Inc., ticker Meta, is down 53% this year through July 14. Apple Inc., Apple, stock has shed 16%, and Microsoft Corp., MSFT, has dropped 24%. But one need only glance at last year's market performance for evidence of how quickly things can change in the stock market. The S&P 500, an index of some of the biggest U.S. stocks, climbed 27%, driven by gains in some of the very same companies recording steep losses this year, including Meta Platforms, Apple, Microsoft, and Alphabet Inc., Google. If you had invested in these companies or the index as a whole through an index fund, your investments would have increased in value considerably last year. Here's what else you need to know about investing in stocks. Where to start investing in stocks? How much money should you start investing in the stock market? Have an investing strategy, especially during market volatility. How to choose which investments to make. Invest on your own or with a financial advisor. Stocks for beginner investors. Use dollar cost averaging. When to sell a stock. Where to start investing in stocks? The first step is for you to open a brokerage account. You need this account to access investments in the stock market. The next step is to fund your brokerage account by transferring money from your bank account to fill trades of stocks you want to buy. The amount of money you choose to invest depends on your risk tolerance, goals, and how much money you're comfortable potentially losing. Remember that while, over time, the stock market typically increases in value, there can be short-term market fluctuations, which can put your money at risk. How much money should you start investing in the stock market? Several online brokers, such as Betterment, don't charge fees for a $0 account balance, nor do they require a minimum amount to open a trading account. You can start investing through these brokerages with any amount. Some also offer fractional shares, meaning you don't have to buy an entire share of a company if you can't afford it. Discount brokers are a boon for beginners with little money who are often looking to get stock market exposure with smaller portfolios. But a discount broker typically does not provide advice or analysis. Many of these brokers don't require a minimum amount to start an account, while some have a low beginning threshold of $1,000. Have an investing strategy, especially during market volatility. It is normal for the stock market to experience bouts of volatility. During those periods, stocks, even ones considered relatively safe, experience price fluctuations. This can happen when there is uncertainty in the markets and tends to be short-lived. Over the long run, we have seen a 10% or greater downturn in the stock market more frequently than once every 2 years on average, says Daniel Beckerman, president of Beckerman Institutional in Ocean Grove, New Jersey. You should prepare to be invested during these rough periods, Beckerman says, if you expect to do well throughout your investment time horizon. Volatility can certainly be concerning, especially if you are a beginner who hasn't experienced it before. That said, you should put your money in companies that can generate consistently growing revenue and profit over a long period. That way, you have confidence in the company despite the stock's price swings. We consider a company's ability to fend off competition, Beckerman says. If a company is hard to compete with, they will be less likely to run into trouble with falling revenue and profits in the future. They are also more likely to be in a position to be able to raise their prices in an inflationary environment, as we have experienced. He also notes that volatility can be your friend. Bear markets, like the one that has plagued the markets in the first half of 2022, can be great buying opportunities. The tricky part is that we don't know the date that a bear market is going to end, Beckerman says. However, if we take an average of the previous 10 bear markets, the stock market tends to provide positive returns of over 14% a year after having entered the bear market. When investors have conviction in a company and its stock price falls, they may see this as an opportunity to buy more of the stock at a better price. How to choose which investments to make? Beckerman says that by looking at a company's metrics, you can gain insight into how companies and industries are performing. For example, when price-earnings or price-sales ratios are elevated, we can get some sense as to when certain stocks or industries are priced in bubble territory, he says. This was the case in 2021, when many unprofitable technology stocks were trading in what I would think of as overvalued territory. Valuation is an important factor when stock picking. Company profitability, earnings growth prospects, quality of management, and industry performance are some factors investors must consider when evaluating a stock's worth to determine whether it is undervalued or overvalued. Stock valuations, Beckerman says, provide investors with some color around the sentiment regarding various industry groups. A stock's price can be different from its intrinsic value. To know how to value a stock, investors must dig into the company's financial reporting history, understand the company's role in its industry, and how it fares among its competitors, among many other factors. Avoid stocks that are speculative in nature, with no historical performance on growth and management expertise, says Alex Vela, a portfolio manager at FBB Capital Partners. He says to target companies with at least a 5-year track record and a management team that has clear goals and objectives. Invest on your own or with a financial advisor. Investing in stocks can be done in many ways, but before you start investing, it's important to determine what type of investor you are. Decide whether you want to take a do-it-yourself approach or work with a professional financial advisor who can advise you through your wealth management. Rob Burnett, CEO's financial advisor and professional tax preparer at Outlook Financial Center, says to ask yourself 2 questions. First, how much time and resources are you willing to commit to personally managing your accounts? Second, how diligent will you be regarding getting initially educated and continuing that education for life? To take the do-it-yourself approach and manage your own investments, you can open an online brokerage account. If you're unsure about where to start, consider opening an account with a robo-advisor, which will do some of the heavy lifting at a lower cost. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel before you go.